Yes, perfect. So essentially the outro right now of the higher time frame analyst phase, the higher time frame analyst week, before we move on to the intro for the execution week. Absolutely beautiful. We're making a lot of progress. Now, first off, what I want you to understand, and just to give you a little tip as well on your mindset and how you can take in as much information as you would like to, because that is very important, right? So what you want to do is on the weekends, yes, of course you want to study, but you also want to take rest. Yes, a guru that likes to work hard is now advising rest. It's a very big misunderstanding that you always need to work hard and you need to learn more, blah 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 blah. Of course you need to work hard, but rest hard is just as important because you are taking a lot of information in this week alone, let alone next week, let alone the third week and the fourth week. That's a shit ton of information to take into your brain. So you need to let it process. So taking rest, good sleep, good food, very important, right? So just again, just a little tip. I don't want to tell you how to live your life, etc. Do whatever you feel like doing. But that is what has always worked for me. And as well, when you are getting frustrated because you can't seem to make it click right away, perfect. That is perfect. And as weird as it sounds, it's your brain trying to comprehend things, and then you'll wake up the next day, and likely you will have the feeling, it all just clicked for me. That's exactly where the processing happens overnight. So first you get frustrated. That's at least from my experience. When I try to learn something new, I try to understand it as best as I can immediately. And sometimes I get frustrated immediately. And then I think I need to understand it. And then I sleep one night, I sleep good, I eat good food. And then eventually I understand it. Like something just happened in my sleep. And that's your brain is processing things. It's very important as well. So then right here, I want to go over the exercise. But first off, I want you to understand two things. That when we apply the exercises and when you are looking to predict and forecast prices, what you are doing, you're always looking to predict and forecast, or what you're looking for, you are always looking to find the highest probability instrument or pair. That is the only thing you are doing with these exercises. And again, the counterpart to that is that you are not looking to predict and forecast prices in low probability price action. If you can have the skill of finding the highest probability pair and instrument, the money, the profits, everything you are looking for will come to you. That is the same with if you're just developing a skill, the money will come in, etc. It's the same with everything, right? It's the same if you just focus on the skill, focus on the process, and the money, the profits, etc. Everything you want, everything you desire, that will come in. And again, that's not a pep talk. It's just to get you to focus on the right thing. Because I want you to focus on finding the highest probability price action always. Again, that does not mean that you need to predict prices constantly. No, just focus on finding the highest probability price action constantly. Because then you'll see that the predicting part is very easy. The forecast is very easy when you can do that consistently. That, of course, like I mentioned, the counterpart to that is as well, you don't want to try to predict and forecast in low probability price action. And the reason for that is because you're in this endless cycle, and eventually you will get to a stage where you're like, I don't know enough. And then again, it's the shiny object syndrome that will come haunt you. And then you think you don't know enough and you start looking for another mentor, etc. And that is very dangerous, right? That is what we want to avoid. So again, we don't trade in low probability conditions. So why should we even do a forecast and try to predict in low probability conditions? It can only do us harm. It is not beneficial at all. It can only hurt our ego. That's it. It's not beneficial at all for us to do that. So focus on always trying to find the highest probability price action. Not necessarily predict, but always finding the high probability price action. That is what you would want to do. So right here, if we start off with the first exercise right there, we have CPI, FOMC, and then NFP exercise. And what does that mean? right there, what you want to do is higher time frame analyst exercise. You want to open multiple charts. I will show you the pairs, etc. Below this video, there's a link where you can just copy the pairs that I use and that I go over in the forecast videos as well. Open multiple charts, forward testing by following your steps to get to a higher time frame drawn liquidity. So that is essentially using the top-down video that we mentioned in the previous video. Third, for this news day, don't execute, only do a higher time frame analysis. Forecast the moves, journal it once news drops, and what you expect, journal what happened. If these days are low probability for you, meaning that you don't execute on these days, it's great to practice your higher time frame analysis because you will get the outcome really fast. Now, let's see what it actually looks like if I open my trading view and Yes. Oh, can you see my trading view? Not yet, I don't believe. Let me see. Come on, please work. It would be lovely if it could just work. Yes, perfect. Sorry for the delay. But right here, what we are doing, we had NFP today actually, which is perfect because then we can practice. Right here, if we are going higher, where are we likely going higher off of? This weekly fair value gap, right? Ideally, I didn't want to see it retrace into that, but again, the only argument that we have right there is bullish, of course. So, daily fair value gap is also something that we had right there. Now, the weekly fair value gap is stronger than the daily fair value gap, so likely we can expect higher prices. 4-hour time frame, what do we see? 4-hour time frame, right here we have an ST. If we want to confirm this ST, then this fair value gap is something we could trade into, and then we continue higher off of that, creating order flow confirmed and creating a new order flow leg. So this is our exercise. And then right here you'll see that usually CPI, FOMC, and NFP, they just follow order flow. That's all they're doing. They just speed it up. It's just an alibi to do what already was destined to happen. So right there, we just follow order flow, we have a sting into the fair value gap, and we continue higher. Again, you don't want to trade this. There's a reason why we have this exercise, because you don't want to trade this. It's low probability. There's no risk management involved. Things we will all go over in the execution week. All you want to do is apply the higher time frame exercise. That's what you want to do. And again, you can do this with multiple pairs, with multiple instruments. If you can find the high probability price action, that is what you want to do. So, if we go back to the Notion, can you see my screen? Let me fix it real quick. Yes, that's faster. Perfect. That's what we want. Right here, we have the 20 pairs exercise. Now, the 20 pairs exercise. The 20 pairs exercise does not mean that you go over 20 instruments or 20 pairs. You can use the exact same list that is below this video. Just copy it to your own trading view and you can use that. Perfectly fine. You open multiple charts. Forward testing by following your steps to get to a high time frame drawn liquidity. Again, the top-down video is the one you want to be using. For 1 week, only study the high time frame, 4 hour and above. Again, you can do this multiple weeks. If you really struggle with it, perfect. Do it multiple weeks. If you struggle with finding the high probability pairs currently or instruments, perfect. We can do this multiple weeks. That's also a thing I want you to understand, right? If you don't understand it or you can't really seem to make it click right now, perfect, no worries. Something that took me years, I just taught within 1 week, within a few videos. Again, if you can't understand it, it might also be me, because I am also trying to clarify it as much as I can. I'm trying my best at that. So it's both parts right there, right? But it's also being able to understand from your side that if you don't seem to grasp it right now, don't worry. It took me years to understand this. I don't expect you to understand it within 1 week. No worries. You don't need to understand it within 1 week. Take your time. That is very important. We're not here to rush the process. We're just here for the process itself. However long it may take, we will still do it. That is very important. So, forecast the moves. Journal it once it happens and what you expect. Journal what happened. Exact same thing you would do with the CPI, FOMC, NFP exercise. This is just something over a longer period of time you would do. So again, this might be a great exercise to do consistently as well, or even on a Sunday when you feel like, all right, I am going to be trading this week, but on a Sunday, I want to see if I can predict or find the high probability price action on the Sunday for the next week. And then on my next Sunday or next Saturday, I'll see what happened, etc. Just trying to apply the exercise. That is what you want to do. Now, the next one is arguably the most important one, deep work sessions. And if you've watched the old enrollment videos, you know how much I emphasize deep work sessions. They are so extremely important. And again, let me tell you, deep work sessions is what me got. That's not a great sentence. It's what got me here today. Absolutely. It's fully deep work sessions, nothing else. Again, of course, I'm grateful to the mentors that I had, etc. But after these mentors, the only thing I did was deep work sessions. And that is the things I'm teaching here. They all come from deep work sessions. Everything. There's not a mentor that taught me some secret or anything. No, it was deep work sessions. And again, let me first go over the steps and then I'll show you how this applies to a chart as well. Open a chart. Follow your steps on how to get to a high time frame drawn liquidity. Study how each next candle is forming in hindsight. Use replay tool, optional. Apply your own unique routine. This is your routine. This is the top-down routine that we talked about in the previous episode. That is the one you want to be using. So when we go into trading view itself, let me switch my screen again. If it wants to do it a bit faster this time, it would be nice. Let me see. Yes, perfect. There it is. All right. So right here, we are, for example, on the monthly time frame, and we are coming into that volume imbalance. How I would go about it is just studying in hindsight here. We are moving from that premium array to that discount array on a monthly time frame. So what you're doing is you just have this piece of price action, and you go into the weekly, you go into the daily, you go into the 4 hour, and the thing you would do is, for example, you just follow order flow. You just follow order flow. Where are we coming from? What are we targeting? That's all you're doing. So right here, you, for example, have a fair value gap lower, order flow lag lower, this order flow lag lower. Why is this order flow lag not holding? Let's go up in the time frame. We have a daily fair value gap right there. We have an ST here. Why is this not a top in the market? Well, first off, we have the volume imbalance. Then we have displacement higher, displacement lower. That is the ST. This is the fake top. It's everything has come to me by deep work sessions. It's everything. And the reason why I praise it so much is because once you do this, and again, I'm not talking about you need to do this with different concepts. No, you are going to do deep work sessions with the concepts that I'm teaching here. But what you'll notice is when you apply the concepts that I'm teaching here in your own deep work sessions, you will start to notice your own patterns as well. And you might notice the exact same patterns as me, but they just more so click for you because you're seeing it through your own eyes now, and your own brain will make it make sense. So that is exactly what you want to be doing. And what will you be doing then? Then you're creating your own unique edge, because that is something only you can understand. And sometimes it may be very hard to put into words. And that's what I'm trying to do a lot of times. Everything that I'm teaching, I'm trying to write it down. Can I mechanically tell this to a 4-year-old? And would he or she be able to understand it? That's what I'm trying to do always. And that is the steps. So you find a pattern based on the concepts that I'm teaching. So not a random concepts out there. Based on the concepts that I'm teaching. You do deep work sessions on the concepts that I'm teaching right there. Then, if you find a pattern, you can message me, you can email me, do whatever you feel like doing, as long as it's not an Instagram DM or Twitter DM, because I don't read those. Sorry. But if you're in here, you can email me, you can send me a Discord message, whatever. And you try to explain the pattern that you found. And believe me, that makes me so extremely happy whenever I see that. Because you're one step closer to creating your own unique edge, and that is exactly what you want. The greatest traders, what you'll always notice is they have their own unique edge. They have a thing, a concept that nobody else really has. For example, ICT. He is SMC. It's his own thing. It's because he did deep work sessions on something. And that is exactly what you would want to be doing. Now, again, quick reminder, you are doing deep work sessions on the concepts that I'm teaching, nothing else. That is very important. So don't get distracted. Only concepts that I'm teaching. That's all you want to do. All right. And then afterwards, again, a quick little reminder. If you don't seem to understand higher time frame analysis right now, we will also be touching on it in the next week and the coming week after that and the week after that as well. So it will always be a reoccurring thing, right? It will not end just because we now talked about high time frame analysis. No, it's at the core of our strategy. It's very, very important. It's filtering out high probability price action, and it's having the boundaries. Boundaries is the first step of creating our trading plan. So I'm very proud of you, because what you have done this week is you have created the first step of your own unique trading plan. And next week in Executions Week, we will add on to that by how can we now execute on that. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, perfect. Thank you.